Shalom, family, and happy new moon and happy new year. It is a bib, okay? The moon has been spotted. And so, in the spirit of the new year and the new month, um, I would like to begin the second book of Moses called Exodus, okay? So, and we'll be going through a lot of the history, reading a lot of the history that's very important as to why we're celebrating Passover. It's very fundamental and foundation to us as a people. And it's important to go over the history, and everything that encompasses it. So we'll be beginning the breakdown of the book of Exodus. Okay. So let's jump right into it. The book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 1. Now, these are the names of the children of Israel. Okay. Why is that important? Because this is the progeny of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. That's where you get the Israelites. You're dealing with the children of Jacob. So, and these names will represent and be highlighted as far as how the Most High, the divisions of us that, hey, we will be known as. So that all of us who are both physically a descendant of Jacob, so would fall under one of these tribes. So, but we just not only want to be physically a descendant, we spiritually also want to be someone who is righteous. Otherwise, even if we are physically a descendant, we won't make it. So, unless we truly repent. So now, reading on, now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. So, children of Israel, they came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob. Now, that's important. Every man and his household came with Jacob. So it wasn't just him, and it wasn't just his sons. His sons, a lot of them had family. So they had children. Children came with them. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin. Dan and Naphtali. Gad and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. For Joseph was in Egypt already. So, man, think about all the souls that came out of Jacob. 70 souls at this time. Meaning what? His children and their children, their family were already growing. Already growing. So imagine that. And you can have that when you have big families. Someone who has, 10, 11, 12, 13 kids, and 8 kids have kids. You can, next thing you know, it's like, man, we pretty deep. Big family, 70 of us. So now, verse 6. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. So meaning what? So not only did Joseph and his brothers die, but all of the people who were living at that time. So the children, the grandchildren, at that time, that whole generation, all those people have died off. So we're years ahead, okay? We're years ahead past that. And let's read on, verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. So at this time, we're not understanding how many generations ahead are, but we're not too many generations. We just know that generation from Israel, Jacob, his sons, and his grandchildren, all of them have passed away. So, but we're a generation or two down the line. We're not too far off. We're not like 10 generations later from what we have from the scriptures that give us a time frame that we're working in. So we're not like hundreds of years later, but this could be, like 30 years later, 40 years later, 50 years later. So let's read on. So verse 8, now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. So why is that important? There arose up a new king over Egypt, which the title of the king of Egypt would be what? Pharaoh. Okay, Pharaoh. And it says, which knew not Joseph. Why is that important? Because he didn't know Joseph. He didn't care to know him. He didn't have a regard for the accomplishments of Joseph, the things Joseph contributed to Egypt, to the success and well-being of Egypt. And because of that, he had no respect for the people of Joseph. So, and what they may have contributed while they were in Egypt. Okay, there was a disconnect. That's what you had, a disconnect. Verse 9, and he said unto his people, because there's a difference, understanding, and even other nations, they understand, hey, yes, we may all generally bleed if you cut us, and we may all generally have red blood for the most part, unless some people sick or have some health issues. But they understood what even other nations understand today. We are not all created equal. We are not all the same. Else, we would all have the same innate abilities. We would all look the same if that was the goal. But we don't all look the same. Don't all talk the same. We're not all the same height. We don't all the same skill and abilities. But we vary, and that's by design. Nothing wrong with it. So now he said unto his people, which isn't necessarily a problem when you have certain things to address or deal with as pertains to your people. Not a problem. But let's read on in this case. Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. That was the thing, that they're becoming more and mightier than us. Because you got to think about it. You fast forward another like 2 generations, if they were already multiplying, you look at, from Jacob, his children, like, man, multiplying like jackrabbits, multiplying fast. To where, like, man, they growing rapidly. They're becoming more and mightier than we. They're becoming greater in number. Not only greater in number, but some of their other advancements are starting to rival our own. That could be a problem for us. Because understanding if things continue at this rate, because these are conversations they're having, hey, if things continue at this rate, they could cause a coup d'etat. They could overthrow us. What's stopping them from taking Egypt? So many of them, they're growing that strong, and they're not a weak people. They're a strong people. So we have to be mindful of that too. Their numbers are increasing, and they're a formidable force to go against in battle. I've seen what they can do. I've seen their talents and their skill. These are conversations that they're having. It wasn't just, okay, they're just more mighty. It's like, nah, man, they multiplying. Every time I look at one, they pregnant. Every time I look over there, they having another one, and they having kids. Like, man, families, the families are starting at 7 and 8 a pop. 9, 10, 11, 12. This one got 15. Man, you look at it. Look at some of the people in some of the golden ages that we have history of that is more nigh unto us in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s. It was common. Some of you have parents or grandparents that came from families of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 siblings. How much more you think so at that time? That much more commonplace. That was the norm. So if you having that per and per, like, man, imagine how fast you growing a nation. You growing people very rapidly. They're seeing that, and there's a threat. They know that there's a threat there, because with those numbers, and you have skill and knowledge behind it, you have a formidable force. You guys can form your own governments, forming your own elite situation, and then you're unified. You have plans. You're moving in a way that you have a government that exists, that's subsequently part of our own government, but it's separate. Y'all doing your own thing, got your own system that isn't dependent upon our system. That's a problem, because it's left unchecked by us. We don't know what y'all doing. We don't know what the conversations are. That's a problem. And you can see that same mindset, that same spirit carried over in the very captivity the Israelites are in this day and age. That same mindset, it's a problem. You when you start gathering knowledge, understanding, passing wisdom, you start coming together, they see you building. Even if you're not in a space where you're trying to do or cause any harm to anybody, it's still a problem that you're organizing, coming together, building, because it can threaten their very way of life. They feel threatened. And that's why those efforts are always hindered. Nah, they don't need power and struggle. Give them distractions, throw money at them so they get further lost in distractions, that hopefully they're not trying to actually do anything conducive or productive with it. Let them get caught up in entertainment and splurging on pleasures and various lusts, but not to try to sincerely build and try to, gather themselves economically, knowledge, wisdomly, and coming together in that way. We can't have that. So any division, hey, it worked. Keep them divided amongst each other. That's the plan. If that doesn't work, then they have to do other things. Because listen to this, verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them. They weren't just trying to do anything. They were actually calculating, planning, having meetings, political agendas to keep them suppressed. No different than in this modern day and age. If you do the research, it's not just something, onesie, twosies, and things. No, it's systemic oppression, systemic racism to keep you down. Systemically, the system is corrupt. It's built to keep you in a certain space, building things that aren't to help you, but to keep you at a certain level. As long as they stay there, we all right. Yeah, give them the EBT. Yeah, give them the GR and things that they general relief and all these different things that Section 8 that'll, as long as we can keep it, put guidelines that as long as they stay below this line. Oh, they want to get beyond it. They want to pursue other things. All right, well, redline them. These other, like all the Jim Crow and all. Make things challenging for them. Make it hard for them to be able to gain these things. And then you have those who we can convince that, hey, look, so-and-so made it. But no, people didn't sold out and all sorts of other things. Their minds aren't focused on, building, and then they be scared to say things, because then I lose my job. I lose my, like, man, they got you in a pocket so that they have a level of influence and control over you. But when they can't control you, then now things got to change. Reading on in verse 10, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. So that's one thing. Stop multiplication. So how you have that? Eugenics, Margaret Sanger and eugenics agenda. Well, negative eugenics, because there is a positive eugenics. Positive eugenics is fine. You try to make sure that more adequate people marry more adequate people. So you build stronger families and stronger, stronger nation. Not a problem. But the negative eugenics, like most people know when they hear eugenics, is the culling off of the undesired. So Planned Parenthood. So some think to be in their benefit, but nah, it's to keep you keep y'all in check. So y'all ain't multiplying. So y'all numbers stay lower. You need just enough of y'all to keep our economy running because it's built off the poor. I need enough of y'all to work at my Taco Bell, McDonald's. When I want something, you there. Be my waiter, waitress at my restaurant. Need you there. So we need you to a degree. But got to make sure your population don't get out of control. So what else things stop you from multiplying? Some of them vaccines stop and trying to prevent you from multiplying. Then you have other things. The food, tainting the food. Putting all these poisons, preservatives in the food. Limiting and hurting your body, killing you slowly over time. Suffering all these chronic health issues. So reducing your fertility rate for men and women, it making you more sterile over time. So making your body cancerous, so you can't produce, further trying to make you sterile. So all these things is done in calculation, gathering of knowledge, information, trying to get understanding of it, and then putting out agendas, plans to do these. This is what's going on. So chemical warfare, biological warfare, all these things going on to hurt us. So reading on. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies. We need to incentivize you. We need you to buy into the American dream, because we can't have you switching sides. We need your loyalty. We need you to be loyal to us, lest you join to our enemies. And then you say, well, shoot, man, what? They want us to fight for them, to help us overthrow them? Yeah, we down. They doing us dirty over here. Y'all gonna help us? Shoot. And you said you do what? Oh, you gonna give us our own states? States? Countries? We get a couple of them? A utopia for us? They're aware you can be bought. Because they know it, because they trying to buy you. Pay you millions to be their stars and act for them and play sports for them. Try to buy you in. But they know you're out there. All you need, if the price is right, they know it. They know it. So it causes fear, doubts. They need self-assurance. They need to make sure they can keep their thumb on you and make sure, all right, as long as I got them under there, they can't lift that up. Put some more weight on them. Well, it says that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us. And so get them up out of the land. Make it hard for restricted over here. Oppress them when they start going in these neighborhoods. I can't be over here. What y'all doing? Where you going? Where you at? Let me see. Oppression. Make it annoying so they can keep you restricted within certain areas. You don't even feel comfortable going out of those areas because you be getting oppressed and harassed. Sound like anything new? No. Maybe you have seen it, lived it. It's the same thing. The same thing that was going on then. So it's just been modified, new age. A lot of the same agenda have been there. So you say biological warfare, what are they doing then? You think things like smallpox blankets were new? They all sorts of things. They figure things out. They learn. So that's biological warfare. doing things to, hey, call you, keep your numbers low. Verse 11, therefore they did set over them taskmasters. Oh, guess who your new CEO is? You got new businesses. Guess who your new managers are? Supervisors. Yeah, this is what we got for you to do. To afflict them with their burdens. That's the thing. A lot of times you're being afflicted with the things that build up their kingdoms, their empires, not being able to have one or the other, if not both, either the time or the resources, or like I said, or combination of both, not one or the other, to be able to invest and build an empire for you and your people. To try to have something that is of yours to help further your nation. Something that should be something of pride, dignity, honor, nobility, is something that is trying to be jeoparded by others. But yet, they will do everything they can to further their nation, build up their people, but it's a problem for you to do for yours. It's a problem. Nah, you ain't need to worry about it. Help build ours. Help strengthen our stuff. That's what they want you to focus on. Do our will. And it reads, and to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. So helping to build various monuments and things. So yes, building things such as the pyramids. I won't say build all the pyramids. I won't say that. Blanket statement. But help build pyramids and other structures in Egypt. So both large and small. In verse 12, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. Why? Because you're stressing us out. And when people are stressed, they start looking for vices, relief, escapes. And one of those escapes, believe it or not, is, hey, some of that intercourse. So I'm stressed. Need some relief. Oh. Backfires. Because the more I'm trying to get rid of them, the more they're multiplying. The more they're growing. It's having the opposite effect. But hey, it's understanding where you set things up, where you expect people stressed. That give more peace. So, but part of that was also too, Most High blessing, just not wanting our numbers to diminish, but rather our numbers to increase in general. So the Most High helping it to grow as well. So and that it ain't gonna work out the way you think. Is feed them. They gonna grow. And it says, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. Sometimes, man, they be grieved with you. Too many of your presence, just, golly, these people, here they go. And their mindset can be different towards you. Some of the other nations that, hey, oh, you won't believe who I see, one of these people. Oh, your people are not like my people. So, we'll tell you that. You would be, you would put yourself in a place to be misled to believe that just because you have a complexion that helps to try to build some type of connection that you're going to be connected. And it's no. They know. They can see a mile away. Nah, I know that's not my people. I can see you know that, nah, you don't look like me. So you got to understand, most people on earth are brown-skinned people. Most people on earth are brown, various shades of brown. But yet they know We ain't all the way the same. You trying to paint us to be the same. Sound good. Oh, we're all one people, big melting pot, no division. That's, yeah, said when it's convenient. But there's a lot of times in history when history has shown otherwise. So I'm not getting the same opportunities you getting. No, you just gotta work for it and think. Nah, shoot. If I'm not getting the same love in court about the situation like y'all getting, it ain't going down the same way. No matter how you try to paint it, that law justice shouldn't be working different depending on what side of the fence you on. So same crimes, but I'm seeing totally different outcomes. But yet no division is supposed to be the same. Sound good. So now, verse 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. Serve with rigor. Hard bondage, hard work. They're grieving, working hard. A hard version of slavery. Because slavery, believe it or not, do your research, look up the definitions, follow the etymology. An employee is a slave. However, there are different forms of slavery. It's not all created equal. We've been conditioned to think slavery just generally equals chattel slavery, the type that was done with your southern kingdom of Israel primarily and some of your northern kingdom of Israel during the trans-Saharan or transatlantic slave trade. That's what people think the limit of slavery, what slavery encompasses. But no, that is the worst type of slavery. That is chattel slavery. So, but even as an employee, you are a slave. You are paid pennies on the dollar compared to your taskmasters and others above the chain of command. You're not really in a space where your position is truly, really yours. Why you say that? They gave me the position, it's my name on, I got a title. Okay, if it's yours, pass it down to your child. Reserve it for them. Let the company know, hey, that's my position there. I'm going to pass it down to my son or my daughter. Can you really do that? You have that freedom? You have the freedom to say all the days you will and won't come in? Do you have all the freedoms and luxuries of those up that chain of command have? No. The same then. You have limited freedoms, but you're not free. Because you drive your chariot, your car and thing, that you're free. Don't pay for the tags. Watch what happens. Pay the car if you want to. Don't pay for them tags. Watch there be a problem. You keep driving on them streets. Don't renew your registration. Watch what happens. So you're still a slave because you're truly free. Free land, free. I shouldn't have to pay for that. I already paid the car off. Shouldn't have to pay for those things. You ain't as free as what you think you to be. Verse 14, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage. Made their lives bitter. Now you working your 9 to 5. Monday through Friday, weekends off, so to speak. If not more, or varying hours or overtime. Bitter, hard bondage. Working. Barely getting by. You working, but then that paycheck you receive, you got to give it all away. You get the loaf, and by the time you done, you got crumbs left. But say, boy, I'm blessed. I got me a job. I'm good. Get me a few little eats and sleeps, and I'll be all right. Little drink in my cup, Be all right. That's not life. That's not what life is supposed to be about. Slaving. Real work should be what we consider part-time work. That should be your full-time hours. What we look at as a part-time job, that should be your full-time hours. That you're working and that you're done with work by noon, so then that way you can spend time with friends and family, building your house, structure. Like, that's how things are supposed to be. But because so many places that they're inflation, corporate greed, and everything else got you slaving away. Got you there all day. All day you there. The whole brunt of the day. But then you buy into the, all right, if I do it for 20, 25, 30 years and I retire, you didn't work the mass majority of your whole youth. All your good years. And then some jobs so demanding physically, let alone mentally, you may not even see retirement. They push the age hoping you don't see it. They put it right above reach. Like they do the research. What's the average life expectancy? All right, put like 5 years above that. All right, yeah, bet. We good. So they ain't got to pay you as long. Oh, we good, made retirement, but, died so many years, so short. Charge you up like a battery, and then they take you and fresh, and all right, let's use it, and then throw you away. This is what you have. So, it says, made their lives bitter with hard bondage, mortar, and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All manner of service. Got you doing all type of positions. That's what you be having all types of positions available for you to work and help build their system. They got all types of positions. What do you want to be? Want to be my bagger, cart attendant, janitor, maybe something different, secretary. That's what you want, huh? Yeah. All types of positions. Mechanic, plumber. Come on, what do you want? You got to want something. Have you so happy to just have a career working for them? So happy, cheerful, elated. Because you can get a few little trinkets. But as long as you just another cog helping a thing go around, they all right. Good enough for me. Reading on. So, and all their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. You know what? You working hard. Regardless of what position you in, you're working hard. One of them jobs that make you feel better. You're a salaried worker now. Make a salary. Got you a good career. Still working with rigor, putting in all them extra hours of overtime, clocking in. Sometimes working 2 hours before your so-called shift. 2 to 3 hours after your shift, still working. Or you got to work till the work is done. Salary worker. You're a professional. You're career-minded. You're devoted, dedicated to the cause. Happy. This is how they do it. Verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. So, Hebrew midwives. Okay. And traditionally, from what it is we can see, it was common for the midwives, for women to take up that occupation. So, now, on verse 16, and he said, when you do the office of a midwife to Hebrew women and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. Have that too. Nurses and doctors and everything. Hey, well, new procedure. We have this new vaccination. If you see others that are minorities at risk, the at-risk population, because we know they're at risk, and certain diseases, just make sure you give them these doses. It's for their betterment and best interest. Oh, okay, we'll make sure, and that's how they do things. Move you over, and all try to make it seem as if it's in your best interest. Those that are at risk. Oh yeah, higher risk. Let's make sure they have these things. Oh, okay, yeah. Some buy into it. Others begin to question the research. Hold up. What's in this? What's all this? And let me see the studies on this. And nah, I don't agree with that. I ain't gonna do that. So, or others get smart and just like that, they play the part and, yeah, I make sure I give it to them. I ain't gonna give them that. I know the agenda. I ain't finna get me and my people. I'm like that. My hat off to you. So now reading on, 17, it says, but the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. You got to be like that. And some people in various fields are like that. That no, regardless of whatever corruption, I'm not going to partake. I'm not. And others handle it differently. Some will openly let it be known. No, I'm letting you know, as my supervisor or as my manager, I'm not going to do that, regardless of the consequences. That no, it goes against my moral or civil principles or my integrity. That no, I won't do that. I can't do that. Where others, they'll do like the midwives. All right, in the moment, I'll be wise and say what I gotta say in front of you, but on the back end, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gotta let you know that. So I'll let you believe whatever you want. Yeah, believe I'm doing it. But nah, I ain't finna really do that. So nah, that ain't right. That ain't just, so I ain't gonna do it. And then you have those who select few that corruption corrupts them and they fly off the handle. And they take judgment into their own hands that, nah, this is going down. I got to do something about it. So I got to take some people out. Some like that too. You got to mix. So now, reading on, verse 18. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing? And have saved the men children alive. So they after a while start noticing, like, dang, wasn't the protocol supposed to be they do this and man, I'm still seeing I think if anything they increasing more, ain't they? I don't see. Hey, didn't I say you supposed to be giving the vaccinations for the things? Have you guys been doing that? Has that been going on? Why it seems like that hasn't been happening. I'm trying to figure out things. You have that. That's what they had. That's what they had. That's why it's a situation. Verse 19. And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, they had to come, hey, got to have a story. Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Hey, as they said, look, these Hebrew boy, by the time we get, they didn't deliver the babies. We ain't had no time to do it, man. It gets beside it. We trying. We trying, but it's just, man, it's getting behind us. They having that. Good. Verse 20. Moreover, God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. That's the Most High God. He's watching. He's watching everything. He chooses when and if he'll intervene. But, and intervene doesn't mean, all right, let me come down on the scene and what y'all got going on here. But intervene meaning allowing things, people, events, circumstances, weather, animals, anything, different things of that nature to, all right, this is what's going to interrupt or disrupt this. All right, I'll let this fall into place. That's how he works his works. That's how he operates. So, for the Most High, he's seen it like, all right, bet. Appreciate that righteous act. That was good. All right, I got you. Most High's watching, so them righteous acts add up. It adds up. And the Most High, you can have favor on for something. I see what you did there. I'm going to bless you for that. I got you. So that's what you want. You want that. Reading on. So like I said, the people multiplied and waxed very mighty through their efforts. It's here you see, the midwives, and you see these two that doesn't mean that was the only two midwives and all of that. That wasn't the case. But remember, understanding, these are probably leaders. These are probably female leaders, that they were the heads. Like you got the head nurses. So, hey, what's going on with your department? I thought you said, so it's like, hey, these sisters are probably in a higher position, rank, and authority that, hey, they the ones to see in regards to this. So, but more than likely, I highly doubt that they were the only two midwives amongst thousands of people. So, highly doubt that. But more than likely, they were the top midwives amongst their people, that they in their departments, are probably within the governance of the greater governance for our people. You have positions that are in higher ranking, no different than today. You have government positions, so that they are elevated. So now, verse 21. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. So how did that happen? Was it literally, God said, dang, they fear me, I'm going to build that house right there? But no, he allowed them to be blessed and make it within certain positions, often that these things would happen, and others be willing to help them as a result in different ways. So everything from, man, you know what? Hey, these sisters, they've been looking out for us, man. And other people were like, man, nah, they've been looking out for it, man. We gonna come together and do them right. Hey, the community came together to help get you this. The parents of these children that knew you did well and looked out for us came together to give you this. That happens. Do them a solid. Or the other times it works to where, okay, over time in the government, you doing what most allows, that, all right, now you make X amount of dollars and money to be able to now afford to do this. There's different ways Most High makes those things happen to ultimately reach that point. But it's because they did a righteous thing that the Most High God blessed them for. You want that, because guess what? He could have done the opposite if they had done the opposite. Oh, no, they selling, they doing this. All right, well, I'm going to cause them. It's going to be short-lived. Y'all, all right, you want to, got your nose so deep up Pharaoh's, you know what, that, okay, you go to that extent, all right, now I'm going to punish you. Now you're going to suffer. Now I'm going to take you out. Now you're going to lose this, lose that. You don't want that. Now, verse 22. Now let's see what happens. And Pharaoh charged all his people. Now he said, man, I can't deal. Let me go back onto my people. Let me go back. I need to have some board meetings. Let's call some council sessions. Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born, ye shall cast him into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. He said, look, we need more drastic measures. This ain't working. We tried some plans, we tried some countermeasures, and that ain't working. We need new stuff. We need some better. We need to be a little more forceful, add a little more pressure. We need get the thumb on it. Bring the fist down on them. Playtime is over. This is getting out of control. We've been doing this for years. Don't think this was just stuff. All right, they did this a few months ago. No, this is years. Years they're working. Years is passing, and we seeing, this ain't working. This ain't it. We need to switch tactics. So now, let's get into chapter 2. Chapter 2 and verse 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi. House being also representative of the family, also being representative of the tribe of Levi, and took to wife a daughter of Levi. So, meaning that, because now they're growing, married a cousin from the same tribe of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. Conceived meaning she got pregnant and had a son. And when she saw him, that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. When she's saying, like, man, this child, and it wasn't necessarily like, oh, he just had this glow, like he just glowing blue or gold or something, but just seeing this is a healthy, part of that goodly is first and foremost being healthy. This is a good, healthy child. So, but also, being able, part of that goodly child, sometimes you might have with your own child, like, man, this is solid baby, right? I think this is a good baby right here. This baby's solid, Sometimes you have it like, man, it's something about this kid, man. This kid a leader, Or this kid gonna do some good stuff. Sometimes you can have that about your kids, and you even see it more as they grow up. Like, man, I got some solid, there's make solid firstborn, or like, man, it's solid. Man, I see even like for my kids from, man, and some of y'all can attest. Right? Probably a lot of y'all. Some of your kids, when they came out, this is a good one right here. This is a goodly child right here, And not saying that the other one just bad, but some of your kids, they different. So some of them, it's like, man, this kid, they be on. The other one's like, man, this kid, I love my baby. Pray for him. It's different. Part of that is also there too when you have kids. So, and she hid him 3 months. Why? Because they were killing him, killing the males. She didn't want that to happen, that this is a healthy male. Don't need to happen. He wasn't sickly, diseased, or anything of that nature. He was good and healthy. So, verse 3, and when she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes and dubbed it with slime and with pitch and put the child therein. And she laid it in the flags by the river's brink. And his sister stood afar off, to wit, what would be done to him, because he had an older sister. Not old sister, but older. They had an age gap. So it's part of what played out in Numbers, when with the whole leprosy and say everything else, when her and Aaron went to speak and thinking, well, shoot, especially our people get, I'm 5 years, 8 years older than you. You my baby brother. You my baby. I say something that, hold on. Hold on, this you gotta respect order that the Most High is set up, an establishment, and man, come correct. It's not just about that and what you may feel entitled to. So accept understanding that certain things is there are differences though, where that authority is still in play when you have parents. Like the scripture say, giving the woman authority over the sons. It ain't just, hey, well, got a son and just be reckless. Nah, there's a balance. The scriptures teach balance. It teaches respect in things, but certain things overrides, and that sibling thing that, hey, but if that person's in this position, or that, hey, then the game switches up. So, but not so with parents. So now, understanding as we read on, verse 4, and his sister stood afar off, to wit what will be done to him. And, hey, looking out, because, of course, man, yeah, it'd be painful seeing baby sibling and going off to where, shoot, what's going to happen? He eaten by a crocodile, he make it over there, care and concern. So, show the sister that cared. Verse 5, and the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. So it caught her eye. But one of the things she was curious, like, man, what, hey, check that out. Let me see. Yeah, bring that over here. Look, look strange. Don't look normal. There's something in there. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him and said, this is one of the Hebrew children. She had compassion on him. She wasn't like, man, somebody left a baby out here. Oh, dirty baby. Man, put that thing back out there. Nah, she wasn't like that. It shows, other nations, they can have compassion. They can have empathy and things of that nature. So you can have that. Somebody say, ain't all bad. And rarely as you read the scriptures, is even the scriptures tell even the wicked know how to give good gifts unto their children. And even when we think about wicked, don't mean somebody 100% just all bad. Nah, it's these other things that they won't do or not doing. So, but even then, she had compassion. She said, like, man, it's a baby who like, I don't want to just leave it out here. I don't like, man, anything could happen. It was like, and it's crazy too, because she knew the hit too. She knew the hit out, but she wasn't like, well, it was to kill all of them. So, just hey, kill it. Nah, she's like, man, I don't want to just do that. And our people at times be the same ways. You read that in the scriptures. Most High sometimes give the order, and our people like, no, I don't know. I don't know. Most High, all right. They'll be thrown on your side. Sometimes it works, sometimes it backfired. So, case by case. But in this case, you see, she had compassion, and part of that was all praise to the Most High, putting that spirit on her, because it was a help and aid unto us. So all praise she had, that compassion that the Most High probably put on her mind or spirit, and if not, blessed her for making that choice. That, hey, this is a good one. Help grow them well. Provide and nurture for them, because I got plans for them. So now it said, this is one of the Hebrew children. Now, more than likely of how she was able to figure that out was probably a combination of his attire, what he was wearing, what he was, swaddled in. That, hey, this is, you see what this is? Yeah, this is probably came from this area, because look how he's dressed. I can tell this probably wasn't, one of our people's babies, just based on his attire. And then probably further saying, oh yeah, see, told you, circumcised. That's, one of them. So combination of those things caused her to be able to see, okay, all right, one of the Hebrew children. So now, verse 7, then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and call thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? So now notice that. So as it said, then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter. Well, whose sister? Who's the his? Moses' sister. Said to Pharaoh's daughter. She had the inside scoop, meaning she was close, that, hey, shall I go and call thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? It's called one of my people to, give the child suck and take care of it. So, and Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. So, and Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. So she had, and these maidens that she had were of the Hebrew. They saying, hey, look, that's one of our, get it, hey. They tell her, hey, that's my brother. Hey, you want me to get one of our people to take care of it for you? Yeah, go do that. And then I'll pay you for it. And then, give him back. Like, hey, they was aware. All right, work for me. So, and the child grew. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, and the woman took the child and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter. So, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses. And she said, because I drew him out of the waters. There you go, man, adoption story. Said, all right, I'll adopt him. I'll raise him as my son. Raise him as if he were my own. Teach him my ways, my customs. So you have that. You have that. She chose to do that. And it worked out in our best interest. All praises. 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown. So now, again, sometimes you read the scripture, time flies, time passes. Now it went from a baby, jumped from him being a baby to now him being grown in just the next verse. So we didn't get all the years and things, and why didn't they cover all that? Because it wasn't important. And so, all the trials and tribulations, educating, it wasn't the necessary parts of the story that we needed to need of his life as it pertains to us. Yeah, that, his personal testimonies and things of that nature, but ain't the parts we need to know. So, by the way, it consolidates things. So we just need the highlights. So now, when he was grown, that he went out unto his brethren. So he knew. He was aware that these are my people. I was adopted by the princess, the daughter of Pharaoh. So I was adopted. Goes to show you too, they have favor on the ones that have favor. They got their favorites. We'll let a few get in the range. Yeah, we do. The hit outs for the majority, but these few are all right with us. They have that. They don't mind that. Especially when they get you early and they can teach you the way they want to teach you, grow you up the way they want to grow up. I don't have a problem with you then. Yeah, you homegrown, born and raised. Look like them, but think like us and walk like us, talk like us. That's what I want. That's what I want. Now I can work with you because now I got you bought in. Now I got you on the dream team now. I got you because I got you here. That's where I need to get you. So now that you on this side, you going to move with our agenda where we need you to. So that's what they want. And what the hope is always. And now, that he went out and looked unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. So that was the thing. He still had a mind that was geared toward his people. He still had a concern for his people. That's good. That's good. He still had a concern for his people. So now, and it says, and he spied an Egyptian smiting in Hebrew one of his brethren. So he wasn't looking at it like I said, because it's key what Alex said, it's smiting just one of his brethren, because he didn't just look at it like, dang, that nigga getting his butt beat, getting his grass beat, He didn't just see it like that. Pardon my vernacular. But yeah, he didn't just see him, he getting his grass beat. So, dang, bad for him. Hey, pass me some of them more cucumbers and like he wasn't just everything just centered on him living the good life. So he was like, dang, like, man, I hate to see my people like this. Like, man, it's hurting me. It's bothering me. Like it's just irksome. It's like something like that itch that just won't go away, or that pain, that knot in your back. Like, dang, like, man, it's bothering. So now, verse 12, and he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Why would he do that? Because he saw a high level of oppression that if I didn't do something, this person more than likely would have been severely injured or died. And there was only so much I was able to witness and see and stand by idly and not intervene. So it was only so much I was able to take until I snapped.
And you have some people that are like that. You wonder why all of a sudden they would do things that that would be um things that could not go without some type of consequence. Take penitentiary chances because they just snap and retaliate at times or against those who, like, man, they gonna throw you under the jail. You know, why would you do that? Because I just got fed. I got so tired. I just kept seeing, like, I couldn't take it anymore. You know, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And they, as the saying goes, they went postal. Everybody got to go. It's a special. Buy one, get 10 free. I'm taking them out because, man, I'm tired of seeing this day in and day out, week in and week out, and just nothing's being done. No justice being served. Justice gonna be served today. That's it. And hey, you can bury me today with it, because justice will be served. So it on a dish today, dish served cold. It's, man. Some people are there, you know, and that's where Moses was. He was there. He snapped. I couldn't just stand by idly. You know, I jumped the gun, and something had to be done. So it goes to show Moses had a mindset as a young man that I'm willing, even though I'm in this affluent place, I'm willing to risk for my people and their betterment. I'm willing to throw it away. You know, I'm willing. He's shown that. He has and he's shown, even if some may not see that still he has a heart, mind, and concern for the well-being of his people. You have all this wealth, rich, all these other things. You could just be happy just being the adopted son of Pharaoh and his family. You could be happy in your cushy lifestyle. Wasn't enough for him. Not if I'm here, but my people are suffering, because I know it just could have easily have been anyone else here where I'm at, and I could have very well just as easily been in those conditions. And it's hard looking at my people, looking at them and seeing their faces, looking in the eyes, and as if I don't see a reflection of myself looking back. That's tough. That's tough. Whole different battle and burden that he's fighting. And bearing that weight. So now, I said verse 13, and when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. So, you know, our people get into arguments, confrontate one another. But yes, and it says, and he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? He told him, like, man, the one that was wrong, and man, my man, looking for justice again. Went to the one that clearly, I seen how things, you know, transpired, and see, hey, bro, you wrong. Why you doing that to him? Why you mess with him like that, bro? You know. And what happened? And he said, who made thee, especially as our people get, it's crazy. Even when we wrong, we still trying to validate and told him, who died and made you leader? You know, who put you in charge? Why mind your business? And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Prince is a ruler, king, and then a judge. You over here trying to, you know, decide our situation and judge us. So he said, intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? He said, man, we already know word got around what you done did. You gonna kill me too? Because and I'm over here hitting it. Would let you know and put back that Egyptian was beaten on one of his people, just like this Hebrew hit one of his own people was like, hey, you what, for this, you don't kill me like you kill him? That's what you gonna do? And that's when he found out. Oh, and Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. That dang, if it get back, I killed an Egyptian. Be a wrap for me. They can throw me under the jail. But take me out. Hang me on the gallows. He said, man. 14, and he said, oh, Sue, I'm sorry. As it was 15. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well. So that was the thing. That man, word got back. Dang, Moses did that now. Nah, that ain't right. He can't get away with that. You know, he didn't cross the line. See that? Look at that. That's when all that, you being a good old lad goes out the window. All that, he got to go now. You can cross the line. So then that's when you become just another statistic. Just as bad as I thought you were different. I had high hopes for you. I sacrificed so much for you. I can't believe you. You would be so disloyal to us all these years. Me, I'm wrong now. It was justified. Nevertheless, that's what happened. He fled. Moses fled on the run. Criminal. Let them tell the story. Convicted criminal on the run. The innocent wouldn't flee. He must be guilty. Slay him. Whoever finds him, put a hit out. Give a $10,000 reward, $20,000, $50,000. Find this man. I gotta go. I'm fleeing the country. Going across country, hiding out. Man, I can only imagine. Of course, way easier to do at that point in time. But man, on the run from the law of that country. So now, it says verse 15, now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Verse 16, now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters. Here it is, priest of Midian had 7 daughters. Okay, so of course he was a priest. He interceded between the people and their God, according to their religious belief system. So, and they came and drew water and filled their troughs to water their father's flock. So, he was, they're dealing with their flock of sheep, cattle, so on and so forth, livestock. 17, and the shepherds came and drove them away. So you have other shepherds, other places that were also coming there that were driving away, his daughters and things, more than likely, because, hey, man, y'all get away from here. Our flock needs to feed, y'all go over there, so things of that nature. So now, and it says, and the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. Like, hey, what, man, leave them women alone. So, and it goes to show, even better, Moses was a just man, understanding that, hey, right is right, wrong is wrong. That's righteous. That's how we're supposed to be. It's supposed to be for, like, when you read the laws, it's like 90% to 95% of it is across the board, regardless of what nation you're from. It's the same law that applies. It's not like, oh, this is the law book for Israel, but this is the law book for the nation. No, the law is the law. Murder is murder, regardless of who it's done to. Adultery is adultery, regardless of who it's done to. Theft is theft. Like, no, it's one law unto those that are homeborn and the stranger. Like, one law. There's only slight, okay, in this case, and this case, these things are, okay, what's on law? Okay, with these situations. But other than that, It's the same laws. Why? Because that's part of the problem that you have in terms of injustice. When why is there one law for us but then a different law for y'all? Y'all judge y'all stuff differently. That's a problem. Most High, he didn't want that. Like, nah, it's across the board. That's why you saw it wasn't just like, all right, David, you committed adultery, it was one other nation, so it's good. No. No. It's wrong. It's wrong, it's wrong. You did wrong. There is no past. You can't just treat other people, other nations differently just because. No. That's what part of what you have a problem with your oppressor today. Because of how they treat their people versus yours. So why would you then think it's okay to do the same or go out and do the same? Nah, that's not the way the Most High set things up. So it's supposed to be we deal justly with the other just as we want them to deal justly with us. So that's the thing. So now Moses, he already understood. He was already moving in that fashion. That nah, this ain't right. I should stand up and say something. I should stand up and do something. So it wasn't like he was, oh, nah, that ain't my people. Nah, I ain't gonna defend them and fend for themselves. Like, nah, I should speak up on this. This is a problem. 18. When they came to Reuel, their father, he said, how is it that you're come so soon today? They said, like, dang, y'all back faster than normal. What happened? So, and they said, an Egyptian delivered us. Why would they say an Egyptian delivered us? Because Moses, when he fled, his attire, how he looked in there, he looked like an Egyptian. He was dressed like an Egyptian. Had the attire, walk, the haircut. That's what we saw. Looked like one of them. So an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, and where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread. See that? That's that hospitality. That's how you should be. You understand, like, man, this person, he helped my family, helped my daughter, made things easier for him. Hey, I want to repay him. That's the way you should be. I owe you. I owe you out of respect, because you didn't have to do that. You took a risk. You took a chance. You went out of your way. I got to repay that. That's part of being a man. That's part of being respectable. That's part of being a decent and good person. That's righteous. That's good. Let's read on. So then Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter. It's like, man. He said, and Moses, he was like, all right, man, bet. I don't, man, you don't owe me nothing, but if you want me to stay and help you, because they had some conversation. Like, he got to know him and stuff. Like, he said, man, eat with us and everything. So, man, tell me about yourself, man. What's going on? And they having all this stuff. It's like, man, a brother like you, I could use you around here, man. I could use you and like, man, I could need the help. What you did today, man, it's a breath of fresh air, and an upstanding brother like you, man, and it's like, man, it's a solid brother like you. I tell you what, man, I got it, bro. Like, I have an older daughter. It's Laura, come here, like, man, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. I would be honored. She hasn't known, man, Bill. I'd be honored, man, if you would take, this my one of my daughter, my older daughter, to marry, man. I believe you will be, fit for her, and I believe in that this the type of man that I would tell you I would want you to marry. This the type of man I'm looking at. Like, man, you don't find these everywhere. I told you about your other cousin. Nah, they ain't right. But this man, this is the one. This is the one. And I would just, for the sake of both of y'all, I'll be honored, man. And man, shoot, man, like, these are the conversations and things had. that these things are being done. That's how you build families. That's how you build network unity. Like, man, it's a deal, because I know if I invest in this man, he's gonna be further invested in me and my family. They know that. All right, this is how you get it. Man, it's both love and business, because more than likely we're gonna deal that much more faithfully with one another, because we're tied together through blood. Now, verse 22. And she bare him a son, and called his name Gershom. For he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. Had a son. Time is passing. 23. And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died. So let you know, more time is passing. Time is passing. So, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. Man, it's like no let up. It's like a curse. You just waiting like, man, when will it end? It's like I'm in a nightmare every day, every week, every month, every year, year after year, it's passing, and I'm still in this bad predicament. So yeah, they signed by reason of the bond. They cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of the bondage. Most High God, he hearing it like, man, I hear him. Yeah, they suffering. I mean, they suffering. All right, I gotta do. I gotta help them. I gotta help them. They depressed. They already killed themselves. It's getting too bad. I gotta do something. I mean, what kind of God am I? I gotta do something at this point. It's going on too long. So let me work a work. 24. And God heard their groaning. And God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. God taking all in consideration that, man, I know the conversation I had with Abraham. I ain't forget, yep. I remember I told Isaac I would do this. I told him. Yeah, you remember I told you that? Yeah, you remember. Jacob, y'all remember? We had some conversations. Remember, God tell you, I'm not the God of the dead. I'm the God of the living. It's not I was the God. No, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. They up there with him. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I got to make this right bet. All right, I know what I'm going to do. Hey, we're going to do this. 25. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. That's, man, the Most High God to respect you. You at your lowest. But I see how y'all moving, man. Yeah, it's understandable. I get it, y'all. Y'all handling y'all situation well. I can respect it. All right. I'm going to work well. I'm going to help y'all out. Like, man, the Most High coming through. But we're going to leave off there and end it there, and Most High willing. Next time we'll pick things up with Exodus chapter 3, and we'll start getting, man, into more of the beauty of our power, and how he's choosing to work in our lives, in the vessel, the person. We're learning more about the vessel, each other. The Most High God, he don't just choose people willy-nilly. Just give me that one. I need somebody. Nah, he makes informed decisions and choices that, this is the guy. This is the man. This is the woman. This is the child. He's making calculated decisions when he chooses people. So you're reading more and understand, like, I see why he chose Moses. I see what he saw in him, and I analyze that. I see the type of character he had, like, man, solid man, a just man, that he wasn't just, all right, I got a new attitude. Nah, I'm sincere. I'm solid. I'm faithful. It's beautiful, beautiful with love to have him as a leader, love to have him as a leader because of how he's moving. Like, man, heck of a leader, heck of a man. That's what you want. And if you find people like that, hold on to them. you know, because they don't come a dime a dozen. They're not out there in great numbers. So hold on to that. But with that, Brother Yatab, bit of sound faith minute with that, I'm going to go ahead and say shalom. All right.